The research station on Glacius 7 hummed with its usual mechanical rhythm when Bella first discovered the creature. She had been cataloging ice core samples in the xenobiology lab, her breath forming small clouds in the perpetually cold air, when something moved in the corner of her eye. At first, she thought it was a malfunction in her equipment, but there, nestled between two frozen sample containers, was something impossible. A dragon. Not the mythical beasts from Earth's ancient stories, but something that defied every classification system humanity had developed across 300 colonized worlds. It was smaller than a mouse, translucent as morning frost with scales that seemed to be made of crystallized air itself. Tiny wings, no larger than flower petals, fluttered weakly as it tried to orient itself in the artificial gravity of the station. "Feroz," Bella whispered into her comm unit, not daring to move. "You need to see this. Lab 3. Now." Feroz arrived within minutes, his heavy boots echoing through the corridor. As the station's chief xenobiologist, he had seen countless alien life forms, but nothing prepared him for what Bella was showing him. "That's not possible," he breathed, leaning closer to the examination table where Bella had carefully transported the creature. "Glacius 7 has no native fauna. We've surveyed every square kilometer." "Well, we missed something," Bella replied, her eyes never leaving the tiny dragon. It was watching them with eyes like chips of frozen starlight, intelligent and aware in a way that made her skin prickle. The creature was dying. That much was obvious from its labored breathing, and the way its scales seemed to fade in and out of visibility. Feroz ran every scan he could think of, but the results were contradictory. Impossible. The creature's biology operated on principles that seemed to violate basic physics. "It's not carbon-based," Feroz muttered, staring at his displays. "It's not silicon-based either. Its cellular structure appears to be quantum entangled? That doesn't make sense. What does it need?" Bella asked urgently. The tiny dragon had begun to make a sound, a high-pitched keening that resonated with something deep in her chest. "I don't know, but whatever it is, we're not providing it." That's when Bella made a decision that would change everything. She opened the environmental controls and lowered the temperature in the lab to -40 degrees Celsius. The station's AI protested, warning of danger to human personnel, but she overrode it. The effect was immediate. The tiny dragon's scales brightened, solidifying from translucent wisps into crystalline structures that caught and refracted the lab's lights. It stretched its wings and released a tiny puff of what looked like frozen air. "It's cryogenic," Bella realized. "It doesn't just survive in extreme cold. It feeds on it." Over the next 3 days, Bella and Feroz watched in amazement as the dragon grew. It wasn't normal growth. The creature seemed to absorb the cold itself, drawing heat energy out of its surroundings and converting it into mass. By the second day, it was the size of a cat. By the third, it filled half the lab, but it wasn't just growing. It was evolving, adapting, becoming something more. Feroz's scans showed that its quantum structure was expanding, creating localized distortions in space-time around its body. "We need to move it outside," Feroz said on the 4th day, watching as frost spread across every surface in the lab. "It's going to freeze the entire station." They led the dragon, now the size of a small shuttle, through the station's cargo bay doors. The moment it touched Glacius 7's surface, something extraordinary happened. The dragon roared. Not with sound, but with cold itself. A wave of absolute zero radiated outward, flash freezing the atmosphere for kilometers in every direction. The creature's body began to dissolve, not dying but transforming, spreading out across the sky like living ice crystals. "It's not a creature," Bella whispered in awe, watching through the observation window. "It's a weather system. A living storm." The dragon dispersed into the atmosphere, its consciousness spreading through billions of ice particles. Within hours, Glacius 7's weather patterns changed completely. The random ice storms that had plagued the planet for centuries suddenly became organized, predictable, almost gentle. Feroz pulled up the planetary scans. "It's terraforming. The tiny thing we found wasn't dying. It was a seed, a larval stage designed to find suitable cold worlds and transform them." "Designed by whom?" Bella asked. "By humans," Feroz said quietly, pulling up ancient data files. These files were buried deep in the station's archives. Project Blizzard, a long-abandoned terraforming initiative from the early colonial days. They tried to create self-replicating, adaptive organisms that could make frozen worlds habitable by regulating their weather. "They succeeded," Bella said. watching as the dragon storm swirled above them in magnificent patterns. "It's beautiful." The storm seemed to hear her. A localized flurry of snow descended around the observation window, forming patterns that almost looked like words, like gratitude, like recognition. Humanity had always been good at two things: surviving the impossible and creating life where none should exist. Looking up at the living blizzard they had helped birth, Bella understood why the rest of the galaxy called humanity's achievements impossible. Because humans didn't believe in impossible. They just believed in trying until something worked. The dragon storm of Glacius 7 would stand as a testament to that philosophy, a living reminder that humanity's greatest creations were those that could grow beyond their creator's wildest dreams, from something smaller than a mouse into a force of nature itself.